Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can break my heart. Yeah, I know it's cheesy, but it's still true. I read this quote a few years ago on a school bus, and it has stuck with me ever since. Although, at that point in my life, it was something that I already knew. I have dyslexia, and although it doesn't hinder me much anymore, it had a rather large impact on my elementary school experience. As I attempted to learn how to read in the oh-so-familiar group setting, I was constantly met with torment and people reading over me. They didn't even give me a chance to decipher the language that my brain was not wired to see. I was bullied for many years because of my inability to read out loud. Needless to say, me and words were not friends. In fact, I rather hated them. The words on the paper were impossible to understand, and the ones that were said to me were cruel. I hated nothing more than reading and writing. I couldn't spell, I read at a snail's pace, and I stuttered every time I read out loud, despite the fact that I had no issues with speech. Words made me feel stupid and worthless. That is, until I found poetry. I had always been a fan of music. In fact, it was the only thing in my life that I considered myself to be good at. But to me, music was different than reading, because music was pretty, and reading was hard. Because of this, poetry confused me. Poetry is written word, not sound. But even when reading it out loud, I liked it. I liked words. More than that, I liked writing it. I was in every poetry class that I could find and constantly reading other people's work as well as sharing my own. For the first time in my life, I was not teased for my writing or criticized for my spelling. I was accepted. As much as I loved poetry, I still hated reading with a deep-seated passion and actively avoided it whenever possible. That is, until 8th grade. I changed schools 2 months into the year. It was my decision, but it was still hard. I had been with the same people for 7 years and was not all that great at making friends. I decided to make the change because if I was going to be teased, I didn't want it to be from my past. I was now an A and B student who tried to keep to myself as much as possible. But that's a little bit hard to do in a class of the same 15 people, year after year after year. So I started over. New school, new look, new me, right? Well, that philosophy ended up being more true than I had expected. I was in an English class right off the bat, but the teacher was different. She was, happy? I didn't have to write papers about things I didn't care about, and my opinions weren't wrong. In fact, I was encouraged to think outside the box. It was great. That was until SSR. So close, yet so far. As the rest of the class was busy reading, Miss Steed instructed me to pick out a book of my own. I had already read Harry Potter, so that wasn't an option. As I fought my way through the onslaught of bright bindings and clever titles, something caught my eye. It was a large black book with glistening blue letters. The title read, Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I picked up the book and found on the cover a half-portrait of a girl with bright blue hair. I instantly knew that that was the book for me. Not long after picking up this new book, I got really sick. I couldn't eat and was out of school for 2 weeks, losing 20 pounds in the process. Though it was a very hard time for me, this book kept me entertained and stopped me from entering one of the depressive spirals that I was prone to when being in solitude. Throughout my life, the power of words has been proven to me over and over again. Though hurtful words will always follow me, my love of poetry and reading will overshadow them all. So, I guess I believe in the power of words.